I'm thinking of ending things. I'm thinking of ending things. This line is repeated by Lucy, the supposed girlfriend of the protagonist of the film Jake, as the audience expected a heart-wrenching end of these two sweet individuals' premature romantic relationship. But ultimately, what we get, and as was expected from a Charlie Kaufman movie, what we see is not what is happening, and the explanation is far from that simple. I'm thinking of ending things rather makes you question your existence and leaves you with the feeling how futile everything around you is. If you fear that none of your dreams will come true and you will get old and eventually die without fulfilling any of your dreams, this movie will become a mirror and you will stand in it once again with a placard in your hands with all of the above questions. Hi there, this is Cinema is the Language, and today we are going to review and analyze Charlie Kaufman's 2020 released Netflix movie I'm Thinking of Ending Things, adapted from the best-selling Ian Reid novel of the same name. We are in no position to make a critique of the brilliant screenplay and techniques that Charlie brings in each of his movies. So what we shall do in the course of this review is try to understand and explain to you all the intricate details and their significance of this wonderful maze of a movie. So please stay tuned. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is a psychological horror which starts with a girl named Lucy or Lucia. Well, I don't know what her name is really. She is credited in the movie as simply the young girl. It starts with the girl who is going to a farmhouse to meet her boyfriend's parents and simultaneously thinking of ending things with Jake. The way to the farm gets snowy and stormy and gets dangerous because of the weather. That's the premise of the movie in a nutshell. But this is a Charlie Kaufman movie. If you have seen his previous works like Being John Malkovich, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, or Adaptation, you would know that he will not make a simple psychological horror. He will make you think every bit of the movie, and at last, he will make you feel about your own existence and your own journey through life and love. And this movie is no exception of that. The way they drive to the farmhouse in Jake's car and the atmosphere have a kind of eeriness to it. The girl's name changes as well as her profession, and very subtly her sweater also changes, and looks like Jake can hear her thoughts. Whenever she thinks of something, Jake interrupts her as if he can listen to it. All of this made us engaged and get our heads scratching. Almost 60 to 70% of the story happens in the car, both of them talking about movies, musicals, plays, poetry and much more. But you will be glued to your seat and listen to everything with utmost care, because there's a feeling in this movie that every dot will be connected in the end. After reaching the farmhouse, everything turns for the worst. Jake's parents, played by Toni Collette and David Thewlis, are welcoming and seems nice, but there's something off. Every scene passes and things get more weirder. His parents' ages change drastically, but nobody seems to notice that in the movie except you and me. At this point of time, you are trying to connect all the dots that have been given to you from the very start. In the house, there is all the element of a conventional horror movie, but Charlie Kaufman leaves us hanging. There is also a basement, as every horror movie has. Going where is a strict no-no. And our lead character will go there eventually, but not to find any ghost of the past, but some remnants of the future. Then Jake and the girl return to an icy journey back to the city. Now the storm is going on in full throttle, but still, they went to see the high school from where Jake graduated. And here we meet the old man whose life as a janitor we see from the first scene. And then we try to contemplate the meaning of the movie and try to get an understanding of the whole picture. The dialogues of this movie has a unique blend of dark humor and philosophy, as every Charlie Kaufman movie has. If not for the brilliant performances from Buckley, Plemons, Toni Collette and David Thewlis, the movie would have fallen apart. And all the horror part of the movie comes from the aesthetic brilliance created by production designer Molly Hughes and perfectly captured by Lucas Zal. The 4.3 aspect ratio also brings out a sense of claustrophobia in each scene. Some movies will get you emotionally, some will talk to you philosophically, and some will get you scratching your own head. I'm Thinking of Ending Things is of the last kind. It's a difficult movie to understand in a single viewing. If you have watched it, you will have so many questions rambling around in your mind. And we are going to answer some of those questions in the next few minutes as per our understanding of the movie. Yes, you guessed it right. There's going to be major spoilers up ahead. So if you have not watched it, go and watch it. First question that arises from the get-go is how can Jake listen to the thoughts of Lucy or whatever her name is? Okay, the old janitor we see from the beginning is Jake, whose life we are seeing. The old man would seem like a voyeur who is always watching other people's lives, and more often than not, it is Jake's life he is watching. So it's actually old Jake who is looking back in his life, and everything that is happening in this movie is inside the head of the old man. The girl is Jake's imagination, so he can listen to her thoughts because it is his thoughts. Second, why the girl's name, occupation and dress change abruptly. As she is in Jake's imagination, he put all his knowledge of poetry to quantum physics, everything in her. But for the little knowledge of everything that he has, he could not create a single person with precise details. He met a person with traits from all the other girls he interacted with in his life. To give an example, at first, she didn't like poetry, but in the next scene, she is reciting a poem, and she claims that she wrote it. But later, we find out in Jake's childhood room that it was from a book. The girl is perfect in any which way, contrary to Jake's clumsiness and failure to achieve anything. It may be that Jake could never get a girl that he liked, or any girl for that matter. So what he did was, he painted a picture of a perfect young girl with very fascinating colors taken from many individuals he liked. These individuals can be real persons or even be a character from his favorite film. Why Jake's parents' ages change in every scene. Jake could not find a perfect time frame in his or his parents' life to put this fictitious lady character in. So in every scene, his parents undergo serious physical changes from young to old and back to young again. Also, there is a sense of remorse in Jake and an ongoing battle to not accept that he is now a lonely old man. So in a way, he tries to find out reasons why he could not be the romantic future self he had imagined for himself. There is a willingness to prove the point that he was a caring son who actually thought it better to take care of his parents rather than to be selfish and achieve his goals. And he wants an affirmation of this from his partner. The girl is there to soothe him, to tell him that he is a good human being, that he should not be guilty of killing his creative young self. The killing of the young boy in the school. But could she stop Jake from thinking about all these negative thoughts? The answer is no. It's Jake's innate nature to think about this throughout the day. This is proved from their journey to school. The lady at the ice cream parlor forbids the young girl to go to the school where they would encounter a bitter reality. But Jake decides otherwise. When the girl was entering the school, the camera zooms into the trash can and we see it full of ice creams. Jake has just dumped one of those. This proves that with the physical journey Jake undertakes, he takes another metaphorical journey through his memory lane. The journey ends in the school where we see Jake's young romantic self getting killed, and it's actually Jake who kills him. No matter how much he tries, Jake blames himself for the insignificant life he leads now. The journey as a metaphor. Charlie Kaufman is not someone who likes to play with his audience. He gives enough hints to make his audience see that his storytelling is metaphorical, and this has been done right from the beginning of this movie. The girl's name is Lucy, but someone calls her on the phone and the screen shows the name Lucy. Jake could hear Lucy's thoughts. The road is devoid of any details. All those facts lead you to see the journey as metaphorical. It is the journey to the inner world of Jake's mind. The girl does not just remain as Jake's imagination, she is also Jake's subconscious that confronts Jake in his understanding of the world. Jake is lonely and he needs someone to talk to. The girl also becomes the person who could be a part of the intellectual discussion that Jake wants to engage in. Their journey to Jake's house is a journey to Jake's memory palace. It's a place where everything about Jake's past, future and present is stored. When the girl goes to the basement, she finds the janitor's clothes. That confirms the fact that Jake is the janitor. Also, it's in the basement that Jake does not want anyone to visit. Means that Jake is ashamed of his present. Like this, his mind fluctuates between his lived past and his imagined and alternate future where he receives a Nobel Prize and everything in between. The story and this mind of this ordinary individual eventually stops when Charlie shows us the death of the janitor of hypothermia and Jake's mind imagines piglets leading him to the snow. This is the kind of movie you have to watch again and again to understand it fully, and it was our try to explain it. So let us know whether you agree with our analysis in the comment section. Also feel free to write what you think about our work in general, and please like this video and subscribe to our channel. We will be back with a new movie soon. Till then, goodbye and take care.